since 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
All right. Sometimes the music groove gets so caught in your ears that you can't turn it off. That at least happens to me when I start a new live. Hello, everybody. My name is 12 Gauge, and this is my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. If this is your first time here, I hope you enjoy the music, the camaraderie, and the information that we touch on in these cases that we call true crime. You know, sometimes true crime can be from anything from missing children to families searching for answers for their loved ones that have just vanished, or the families that get the eventual bad news that their loved ones are no longer here. You know, it's so sad that some of these cases cut the deepest wounds, while others start a healing process that many didn't even realize was still needed. I touch on a lot of interesting topics in this channel. I talk about addiction. I talk about success. I talk about positivity. I talk about Idaho 4. There's plenty of videos in there, even though I'm not touching on that topic in the video forum. There's plenty of videos in my library if you want to go back and check out the educational one to teach you about the logistics of the cases, investigation, court processes, understanding of all the semantics that go into the investigative and eventual arrest and prosecution of a potential guilty person. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, then this is the channel for you. All I ask is you be classy in the chat, and that you agree to disagree. And whenever you're leaving comments, whether I'm in my own place or in another place, commenting on some of my friends in the true crime community, you don't have to be rude. You don't have to call me a guilter. You don't have to single out the fact that I'm in a place where my friend and myself have different views. It's none of your business what I say or what I'm about. So if you're not commenting on the creator's post, then leave me out your fucking mouth. And that's all I got to say about that. But those of you that still ride with the 12, let's roll.
Recently made a video about missing Emma Baum from Gary, Indiana, and the police are asking for the public's assistance in helping to locate Emma, as she was last seen in October on the 10th this year in the 2500 block of Connecticut Street. And if anyone has any information on her whereabouts, to call 219-881-1209. A Facebook group has been set up to help in the search for Emma, who went missing after apparently visiting her boyfriend. Now, before this, we didn't know what her boyfriend looked like. This is his face. His name is Antoine Cardell Dante Butler. Now, he was recently booked into the Gary County Sheriff's Office for possession of a controlled substance. He hasn't been arrested for Emma's disappearance, despite the fact that he was apparently the last person to see her.
Okay, we didn't know that he was booked into the county jail on a charge of possession of a controlled substance. So we were just told that he was arrested for a prior warrant. So now we have a little bit more information from this creator. Her name is Crime Stories Obsessed. Okay, so she gave us a little bit more nuggets there. So, possession of a controlled substance. Here we go.
Family say that she was going around to his house to see him, 9 months pregnant and ready to give birth at any day. Now, this is approximately where she was last seen. If you go up Connecticut Street and East 25th Avenue, there are a lot of abandoned buildings. It's quite a derelict area. I know family have been out there searching, but how many of these places have actually been checked? And for people searching on the ground, these abandoned buildings would be a great place to start, including any wooded areas. Her mother shared this photo. She said, "Here's the ultrasound image of my grandchild."
Okay, so she's talking about the abandoned houses and the wooded areas would be a perfect place to search. And we were talking about that the last two videos that have been on this channel. So we're all on the same page on that one. And this is something new that I posted today on the community tab. I thought it was interesting. The mother posted, "Here's the ultrasound image of my grandchild, Emma, who's pregnant, is missing and endangered. We need critical information to locate her. Please contact me or Gary Police without delay." So they were going to name her grandchild Emma as well? Or am I reading that incorrectly? Oh, okay. Here's the ultrasound image of my grandchild, and Emma, who's pregnant, is missing. Okay, and endangered. I was like, just had a blonde moment there. Sorry, guys.
The child that Emma is about to give birth to. She was pregnant, she is missing and endangered, and we need critical information to locate her, her mother said. Please contact me or the Gary Police Department without delay. Now, as this unfolded, and we heard the story of how she'd apparently gone to visit the boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, the father of her baby that she was about to give birth to, and how he was arrested, the ex-girlfriend, or who we believe to be the ex-girlfriend, and I've left her name out of this, came forward to say, I would bet any money that he did it. Did what, though? Also, I'm no longer afraid to tell my story, she said. If anyone needs to know just how violent this MFer is, I escaped him and his evilness 5 years ago by luck and the grace of God, and I'm not scared of you anymore, she said. God help this girl's family. Justice for Emma Baum. But not everybody.
Okay, let's rewind that a second. Supposedly, this is from the ex-girlfriend. And she said, if anyone needs to know just how violent this MF is, I escaped him and his evilness 5 years ago by luck. And the grace of God, I'm not scared of you anymore. God help this girl's family. Hashtag Emma Baum. So if this is the ex-girlfriend, that is telling right there. Hey, Texas, how you doing? That is telling. You know, if that is truly the ex-girlfriend, wow, that signals a lot of stuff right there.
Emma Baum. But not everybody seemed to have compassion for the missing 9-month pregnant mother. Somebody said, dude, I'm just tired of people defending trash-ass humans. This girl with multiple kids and can't take care of them, yet she's running around Gary, Indiana getting pregnant by some thug, and you want me to feel sorry for her? I'm not that guy, my man. You get what you deserve. Her kids are better off without her. I'm sorry, but this girl is effing stupid and trash. Who in their right mind would hang around in Gary with multiple kids she can't even take care of, and now she's getting pregnant. Now, to me,
you know, that is terrible. Granted, people are entitled to their opinion, right? They're entitled to their beliefs. And free speech is one thing. But when you start talking like this about another person and they're missing and they potentially have an unborn child, or at this point a born child, hopefully, this is kind of sad to be thinking that people would be talking about this person like this. Like, this person sounds like a YouTuber, someone that comments on YouTube. I'm just tired of people defending trash ass humans. This girl has multiple kids and she can't take care of, but yet is running around Gary, Indiana getting pregnant by some thug. You want me to feel sorry for her? I'm not that guy, my man. You get what you deserve. Her kids are better off without her. LOL. That is just terrible. But you know what? Until I started the true crime channel, I didn't really realize that people were that freaking heartless sometimes. The internet gave people the opportunity to remain faceless. And it doesn't take a lot to be able to type this in somewhere and people not be able to retaliate. They can answer, they can talk back, they can do all this, but it's not the same thing as talking face to face to you. You know what I mean? And then there's the other comment. It's just terrible. And you're right, Aquarius. She's somebody's daughter, mother, sister. Yes, there is, Texas. There's a whole lot of people like that. That's why I just called one out a while ago. Even though I didn't call her name out, I put in the chat where that comment is located, and y'all can go find it, and you can see what I said, you know, and you can see what she said. She started talking about another creator in a creator's comment section who didn't even comment about the creator's content, but she was commenting on me and being in this creator's, I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of mess. But you know what? It is what it is. As many have said, no one tells 12 what to do. And that's true.
right mind would hang around in Gary with multiple kids she can't even take care of, and now she's getting pregnant. Now, to me, and obviously to the family, and probably to you, many of you are thinking, why on earth would anybody, at a time when she's missing, family are worried and searching for her every day, would anybody want to write this rubbish on the internet? Why would anybody want to hurt the memory of this girl to her family?
I wonder if something happened where her hair either can't grow or she had some illness that caused her hair, her to cut her hair really short where she had to wear wigs. Because, I mean, she looks different in every photo. Like right there, I know she's not wearing makeup. I know she's not wearing the wigs. But still, what would cause somebody? I don't know very many people that cut their hair short that can grow it long to wear a wig. I know a lot of African American females I used to work with, and I used to live in East Texas, and there's a lot of African American people in that area where I worked and where I lived. So I'm not being racist by that remark, but most of them would wear wigs to work, different colored wigs, wigs that looked like they had stuff in them, whatever. I thought they look good on some of them. You know what I mean? But underneath the wig, they had a do rag, and they had short hair. So I asked one of them one time because I was kind of clueless because I was clueless to that environment, and I asked one of them. I said, "Why you wear a wig? Why you wear a different wig every day?" And she was like, "Well, you know what? I can't. I don't like how my hair grows out, and even when it takes forever to grow long. So it's easier to wear the wig, and I get to wear a different color, whatever color hair I feel like, to match my wardrobe or whatever." So I thought that was pretty cool. So I don't know if that's the reason why Emma has her hair so short, but that is just something that intrigues me about this individual and how she had to change her appearance daily, as her mother said. I don't know if she was doing it for protection or anything like that. Hello, Allie. Thank you for being here.
Just horrendous, and I feel like I should apologize to the family on their behalf. Now, the mother said, "Hello, I'm Jamie Baum, and something to know about me is I am Emma Baum's mother. Our family has to search for Emma every single day, and no one in my family has anything to do with her disappearance, as she was last with her boyfriend, Antoine Butler. And after that, I don't know. She's missing and she's about to give birth, trying to get her life straightened out. And how dare people talk bad about my daughter? She was the best ever. She was wonderful. She was smart. She was beautiful and kind. She wasn't like some of you other people who just have no soul, no compassion for people. She was not like that. She was wonderful. Everybody loved her. She was so loved, and she still is so very much loved. We will find out what happened to Emma, to our beautiful baby Emma. Now my family is deeply hurt and distraught and broken, and we will search for Emma until she's found." So that is the whole story as of right now. All anyone needs to know is she's missing, she's lost, and they want help. We're distraught and broken. We will always search for Emma until she's found. If you have any information that will help my daughter's case, then you shouldn't report false accusations or just dumb opinions. Get the facts straight at least. We are searching day and night to find my baby girl. She's my firstborn, and my family and I will never quit until she is found and brought home to us. Her father loves her, and I love my daughter so much, and her sisters and brothers, we all love her and need her back. The family and friends.
That said a lot too. It's interesting how when somebody goes missing, yes, exactly, 100% Aquarius. I'm going to put your comment up there. That's what people don't understand. The family sees your rude comments as bullshit. It is. It is. And the fact that they want to focus on anything and everything other than the missing person. Like she said it right there. Please focus that my daughter is missing. Just focus on the facts. And I read in another one where she said, we had nothing to do with my child disappearance. So before you start accusing the family, get your facts straight. And it's sad that people have to put that out there, but obviously they know how the internet is. And at this point, I'm so glad that she put that out there because that's the first thing people are going to start to do is attack the family or accuse the family or accuse anybody that they don't have any information in accusing, you know? And she went missing October 10th. She was reported missing on October 18th, and she hasn't been seen since October 10th outside of her boyfriend's apartment.
Friends gathered on the road that she was last seen. Camera crews could be seen, and a press conference was given where the family spoke out about Emma. Now, the boyfriend, this Antoine Butler, was booked into Lake County Jail. He was booked in on October the 29th for a failure to appear warrant on a possession of a controlled substance. This is a boyfriend of missing Emma Baum and the father to her unborn baby. Now, Emma was last seen with him. She told her family that that's where she was going, and that's where the story starts, with him. His story has changed numerous times on the details leading up to her disappearance, according to family. But at this time, this Antoine Butler...
Well, it says right here, this was their unborn child. Emma was last known to be with him and Gary, and the family has stated his story has changed numerous times. I did hear an interview in a live that I did the other day that spoke of supposedly him stating that she left with a friend. So that was later found out to be not true. So there's a lot of suspicious avenues about this guy, but also you have to remember that he was booked into the Lake County Jail October 29th for a failure to appear warrant on a possession of a controlled substance charge. So the warrant was for failure to appear. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they both were on drugs and strung out or anything like that. But, you never know.
Butler has not been charged with anything relating to Emma's case. So this is the boyfriend here on the left, Emma on the right, with some of the details about her missing. As you can see, she has some quite distinctive tattoos. She has like a dirty blonde hair, and she does like to play around with wigs in different appearances. But she was about to give birth to this baby here, as you can see in the ultrasound picture. But according to the ex-girlfriend of this guy, apparently he wasn't very good. He wasn't a good boyfriend. He apparently was violent, according to this ex-girlfriend, the one I've left the name out of, and she managed to escape him. Would like to know, was this boyfriend happy that he was about to be a father? What was this?
So let me go back a minute to what this says. Again, I would bet money that he did it. Also, I'm no longer afraid to tell my story. If anyone needs to know just how violent this MF is, I escaped him and his evilness 5 years ago by luck and the grace of God. I'm not scared of you anymore. God help this girl's family. Hashtag Emma Baum. This is brave for this individual to be able to come out and say this. Hopefully she's talking to the family and has given them some information that they could possibly use to piece together in a pattern of behavior they could possibly find their daughter.
What was the situation regarding Emma's boyfriend? We know that she visited him on the day that she disappeared. His story has apparently changed multiple times. His ex-girlfriend has come forward to say that he was no good, violent, and she managed to escape him. It's just very concerning. But I'd appreciate it if people like this did not leave revolting comments to the family of a missing girl. How many children she has, or what she gets up to in her spare time, does not take away from the fact that she is missing, and that is none of anyone else's business. Take a look at this boyfriend. If you know him, you've spoken to him, and he has said anything about where Emma could be, please contact the Indiana Sheriff's Office. Now, it's very disturbing that a 9-month pregnant woman would go missing in these circumstances, and everybody is on tenterhooks, wondering where on earth she could be and at what moment will she be found, and also in what state she will be in when she is found. Has she given birth by now? Is she being kept somewhere? It's still very much unknown. Family are constantly searching for this girl. It's unknown what police are doing because they keep it very tight-lipped as to what they are actually doing, and let's hope that they are pressing this young man considerably to find out what happened to Emma Baum. My name's Emma. I run this channel, Crime Stories Obsessed, and this is to any of the family members of Emma Baum. I'm willing to open up this channel and go live to tell the world about Emma. If you are one of her family members and you would like to join me on panel, slightly like Nancy Grace's panel, to discuss Emma, who she was as a person, what she liked, disliked, what happened between her and her boyfriend, and how it led to this situation, I'm willing to help spread the word as much as possible. Message me on Instagram at Crime Stories Obsessed, on Messenger at Crime Stories Obsessed, and I'll help. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care, and I'll be back with you again.
Wonderfully done, Crime Stories Obsessed. Wonderfully done. Thank you for some new info that I didn't have before. You know, the fact that he was potentially an abusive boyfriend, I didn't know that before. I didn't know a lot of that stuff that you were talking about as far as, you know, the ex-girlfriend and her escaping the grasp of the ex-boyfriend. You know, it's just heartbreaking that there's not a lot of information about this. You know, it's just sad that, and I'm gonna do another one since we're going on the pregnant theme right now. Here's a story of a teen left dead baby in a box at a hospital. I mean, since we're going with that theme right now, I hope that you guys are okay with that. I mean, we dip down as far as people in here. I guess they don't want to hear about this or whatever, but let's continue on.
Another update on the baby that was placed in our baby box, deceased. That had been deceased for hours, if not days.
An 18-year-old woman faces charges after police say she left a dead baby in a baby box meant as a safe place to surrender infants. I lay out the case against Angel Newberry and why her legal troubles could be just beginning. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Angel Newberry is an 18-year-old woman from Idaho, and she's accused of doing something that a lot of people probably can't imagine doing. She's accused of leaving the body of her dead baby at a hospital, but police are hinting it could be much worse than that. This happened on October 13th. Police in Blackfoot, Idaho say Newberry put the body of her newborn in a safe haven baby box at the Grove Creek Medical Center. You might be wondering, what's...
Did she say Blackfoot, Idaho? I wonder where that is. There's Clarkson. So we've heard of Clarkson because of that other case. So this is just not too far away. So Moscow is north of here in the western direction, I think, or at least north. If my memory, you know, served me well. I thought she said Idaho.
Police in Blackfoot, Idaho say Newberry put the body of her newborn in a safe haven baby box at the Grove Creek Medical Center. You might be wondering, what's a safe haven baby box? Well, it's a place where you can leave a baby that is alive to surrender it without getting into any trouble. It looks like this, and the boxes are installed at different locations across the country, like hospitals and fire stations. Once a baby is placed inside, there's a bell that goes off, and the baby can be retrieved and cared for by medical staff. Monica Kelsey founded Safe Haven Baby Boxes to save the lives of babies whose parents can't care for them. She's going to join me shortly to talk about what happened. When the baby is alive, there certainly are not any repercussions, but police say that didn't happen in this case. Here's a TikTok video of Monica Kelsey. She's going to show you exactly how the baby box works.
When a parent walks up to one of our Safe Haven baby boxes, all they have to do is walk up to the door, open the door, take the orange bag, place the infant inside, shut the door, and walk away. Once the hospital gets the notification that a baby has been placed inside the Safe Haven baby boxes, they'll come, open the door, grab the bassinet, and take off for the emergency room.
In an affidavit, police describe.
Okay, let's talk about this for a second, chat. Let's talk about this for a second. Have we become a society where, I mean, I understand the need, and I'd prefer that the babies be, rescued. But at what point are we going to just allow people to drop off a baby and then, I don't know, hopefully she's being held accountable. I'm not saying one way or the other, but, we're going to get into all that. But what do y'all think about the baby drop box? You think that it's sufficient for helping the baby get the treatment that it needs, or do you think that it's just another form for you to dispose of something that you didn't want to begin with, obviously? Okay. I mean, I'm not one way or the other. I'm just asking questions. So, I want to get some kind of dialogue going in the chat about this because I've never seen those boxes before. This is the first time that I've ever heard of a baby drop box. Better than throwing a child in a dumpster, for crying out loud. I get you, Texas. I get you. But if it saves a baby's life, yes, exactly. Okay. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever heard of this. And I'm curious as what y'all think about it because I don't know how I feel about it right now. Like, that girl just went up there, opened it up, took the thing out, dropped the baby in. But how long must that poor baby sit in there before they go in and do something with it? Like, is it connected to the ER? Is it, is the baby okay once it's in the box? I mean, what all goes into that? Oh, I didn't know fire departments had them either. Okay. Good deal. I mean, yeah, let's get some dialogue going about this because I've never heard of a baby drop box. Never heard of it. This is the first case, and I'm glad that, I decided to show this because, education is necessary in all areas. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what she said. There's an alarm once it's closed back up. Then the alarm sounds and they go and get the baby. So I guess it locks once you shut it back. Like you can't open it back up to get your baby out if you change your mind. Okay. Yeah, like an alarm, immediately rescued as far as I know. Okay. Well, let's keep going with this. This is pretty interesting.
What they found on October 13th when they were called to the baby box at the Grove Creek Medical Center in Blackfoot. Upon arriving in the area, officers located a deceased female infant that was discovered by the Grove Creek medical staff. The officers on scene and the medical staff that discovered the baby noticed that the baby was cold to the touch, blue and non-responsive, indicating that the baby had been dead for some time. Officers also observed lividity where blood had begun to settle after the baby had died and a still attached placenta. Police said they identified the car as belonging to Angel Newberry because it had a CarMax placard on it. When they got to her home, they said there was blood in the driveway. Police said they interviewed Newberry, who said she went into labor after buying her car. The affidavit said, Angel said that when she was alone at the residence, she had delivered the baby in a bathroom inside of the residence and that the baby was alive when she had given birth. Angel stated that the baby had cried and made noise after birth and that she had attempted to breastfeed the baby multiple times. The affidavit continues with statements that detectives say Newberry made about what she did after the baby was born. During the interview, Angel stated that she had slept with the baby in her room and searched on the internet for the Safe Haven baby drop box and located the one in Blackfoot, Idaho. When asked about the status of the baby after she had given birth, up until the time she had dropped the baby off, Angel said that she had heard the baby make noise off and on. When asked when the last time she heard the baby make noise, she said it was in the morning of Sunday, October 13th, 2024. Detectives then asked if the baby made any noises during the car ride to Blackfoot, and Angel said she thought she heard her making noises but could not be sure. Angel went on to say that she had sat the baby in the upright position wrapped in a towel with the seat belt across the baby. Now, just a side note here.
Okay. Did I hear right from the original where she said that the placenta was still attached? So that baby was born. The placenta was still attached. She had the placenta attached to it all that time, wrapped the baby up, and drove it to Blackfoot. This is disturbing on so many levels, and this is just my opinion and my speculation, I guess. But if a baby has the placenta still attached, to any of you young viewers, if you happen to have this happen, because this isn't the first story that I've heard of a young person delivering a baby and not knowing what to do after the fact, okay? You know, it's not common knowledge that a lot of people don't know, it's not knowledgeable that people know how to deliver a baby at home, much less it's going to be painful as all get out. But get your parents involved, get 911, to a doctor if you can. Forget the consequences. There's a living being inside of you. That cheerleader delivered her baby. Somehow the baby, she suffocated it, buried it in the backyard. This one obviously delivered it, had the placenta attached, had it around for days, and then decided to go drop it off. This is disturbing. Disturbing. But I can't be judgmental in any shape, fashion of the word because, there's a lot of things that aren't around anymore. They don't teach this stuff in the schools anymore. They don't teach health class in most places that I know of. They don't teach you the whole thing about conception, birth, all the stuff that goes along in the process because there's so many people that are against that stuff. It's almost like teaching people to be okay to be sexual when you know darn well you're not going to be able to stop it. People are going to experiment. What do you think, chat? You think I'm on point or do you think I'm way off course there for what I just said? Hold me accountable. I'm cool with it. Hold me accountable. I'm cool with it. Let me hear you. Let's keep going.
Here, that is no way to transport a newborn baby. Newborn babies cannot sit upright on their own. Detectives went on to write that Newberry told them things that were not true, like going to a hospital for a training in Blackfoot. They also said that Newberry searched Google for things like, has there ever been babies come to the Safe Haven baby boxes already passed away? And if a baby arrives at the Safe Haven drop box already passed away? And if a baby passes before being placed in the Safe Haven, will you still get into trouble? Photos on Instagram show that Angel Newberry, just in the last few years, was a teenage race car driver. Now she's in legal trouble, big trouble. I want to bring in Monica Kelsey. She actually founded the Safe Haven Baby Box program. Monica, take me back to that day when you first found out that a dead baby had been placed in one of your baby boxes.
To be completely honest, this had never happened before, and we were devastated. You know, this program was started to protect these infants, protect these moms, and this was the total opposite of what I started this organization for. And so we were heartbroken.
It's a heartbreaking case, and I've read through the affidavit, and the facts as laid out in the affidavit make it sound as if obviously the young woman in this case, Angel Newberry, says that she actually gave birth in her house. She was hiding this pregnancy, according to police. She drives over 2 hours to get to the baby box. So it sounds like her intentions were good, but for whatever reason, the baby, and it sounds like the police are still investigating. They're being very tight-lipped about this, as is the prosecutor. The baby somehow passes away in between the birth and making it to your baby box. So have you been able to learn any more details about where this investigation might be going?
We don't. They are being very tight-lipped about this situation. I just know that, 2 counties are involved. But I don't know what's going to happen. And you're absolutely right. I think this mother wanted to do the right thing. I think she genuinely wanted to save the life of her child and place this child in our box so that this child's life could go on. And for whatever reason, this child didn't make it there. And again, we're heartbroken. But, to reiterate, the Safe Haven law is in every state in Idaho as well. And so she could have walked into a hospital or a fire station in her hometown and handed that child to a person instead of driving all the way across the state to a baby box. And she would have remained legal and safe, and we would never know her name if she would have done that. But it's a heartbreaking situation. I just don't know where they're going to take it from here.
The cases I cover each day here for you.
So basically, if you drop a baby off and the baby is deceased, you're not going to get into any trouble. But the fact that she drove across the state to drop it off somewhere else, then that makes her liable? Help me out, chat. Is that what they're saying? Or, I still have this fog going on, so I need some assistance here. Is that what they're saying?
On Crime Fix show you just how scary the world can be. And one of the scariest things that can happen is if you ever get hurt. But I want you to know, if you're ever seriously hurt or in an accident, your case could be worth millions. That's where our sponsor, Morgan & Morgan, comes in. The firm has an army of more than 1,000 lawyers who ever hurt. You can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/crimefix. I know that I've talked to you about this before on a different program a couple of years back, but you founded this program, the Safe Haven Baby Box. I mean, this is very personal to you, and I want to talk to you a little bit about why you established these baby boxes.
Yeah, back in 1973, there was no safe haven law. And my birth mom was 17 years old. She was brutally attacked and raped and left along the side of the road. And then she found out 6 weeks later that she was pregnant. And she was hidden for the remainder of the pregnancy. And then she gave birth in April of 1973 and abandoned her child. 2 hours after that child was born, and that child was me. So I stand on the front lines of this movement as one of these kids that wasn't lovingly and safely and legally, surrendered under the safe haven law. But I am now their voice. I am these moms' voice, and I will forever walk alongside them if they try to keep their child safe. And I wish this mother would have reached out to us. We could have protected her to let her know exactly what she needed to do, where she could go, how she could remain confidential in her hometown. And she just didn't. And so this is totally not what I wanted to see in 2024. Actually, I never wanted to see it ever. But it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating that I started this organization to save lives, and now a life has been lost.
One of the things that was made very clear in the affidavit was the fact that they identified her vehicle through surveillance camera footage. And something I thought was really important to point out was the fact that it's not that there was a security camera trained on the baby box. They don't do that. It's the fact that there were cameras elsewhere around the hospital, and they were able to see that there was a CarMax placard on the vehicle. And that's how they were able to identify the vehicle, because this is all about staying anonymous, being able to drop a baby into the box. The bell goes off. The baby is then retrieved by a professional who can then care for the baby. So talk to me about that piece of this puzzle, because it's not like there are cameras trained on the baby box.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And actually, each location signs a contract with us. And part of that contract states that they will never place a camera directly on the box. Now, we can't get away from every camera in America. We understand that. And so old police work is how they found this parent. It's not because they had one, camera placed on the baby box and seen her place this baby in this box, because that's not allowed. This location signed a contract stating that they would not do that, and they haven't done that. And so they did look elsewhere to find this car. And from my understanding, they looked at a few different cars. So this wasn't just, she stood out. This was something that the detectives worked very hard to make sure that they had the right person. But anonymity is very important to us. And that is why this program works so well, is these women, as long as they keep their child safe and the child is within the age of safe surrender, these babies' lives will go on, these mothers' lives will go on, and this mother would have been protected. And unfortunately, we know that this was not the case for this little girl.
In the affidavit, it said that Angel Newberry told the police that she gave birth to the baby. The baby was making noises, crying. She tried to breastfeed the baby. The baby, when it was found in the baby box, was wrapped in a blanket and still had the placenta attached, is my understanding. So what does...
So can you breastfeed right after birth? Excuse the ignorant question from a male, but, I'm asking.
What does that tell you about the birth of this baby?
Well, this is actually a typical safe haven case. We get babies in our boxes all the time with placenta still attached, or the cord is cut but not clamped, or the cord is cut and clamped. And we know that these babies are not born in hospitals. And so that's why the safe haven law is so important for these moms that basically are at the end of their rope. They're in a moment of crisis. They don't know what to do. And so they bring these babies to us, wrap them in towels, and place them in our baby box. And so she is kind of the typical, parent that uses our safe haven baby box. And it's just unfortunate, but it was so far away, and she didn't, get help immediately for this little girl.
So you're saying this is fairly typical, that, your typical case that you see is it will be a newborn wrapped in like a blanket with still the placenta and maybe even part of the cord attached. That's pretty typical.
It's very typical. This is more common. Actually, I can tell you, out of all the babies that we have helped surrender, 207 of them, I can tell you that without question, I know that 2 of them were born in hospitals. And the only reason I know that is because there was tags on these babies when they were placed in our boxes. And so the majority of these babies, you can tell right away they were not born in hospitals. And so that's why it is so important that we have this last resort option. These are the babies that were being placed in dumpsters, that were being placed in trash cans. Now these women are trusting us. They're saying, okay, well, I can do this. I can go to this box. It's anonymous. I can place my child in here and turn around and walk away, no questions asked. And so that's why it's so important for us to make sure that these women understand the program, understand where these boxes are, understand the safe haven law in general. Every hospital in America is a safe haven location. But it's so important for us on the safe haven movement front to make sure that these parents are educated on the program, on the process, so that they can save the life of their child, because the hospitals are not involved in the majority of our cases.
Yeah. And just reading the affidavit too, I mean, she talks about wrapping the baby in either a towel or a blanket, sitting the baby upright in the vehicle, which you can't do. Newborn babies can't sit upright. They're too small. I mean, they can't support themselves. So I just can't even imagine. And it said that, I mean, the affidavit said they believe the baby had been deceased for some time because of the state of the body. So I just can't even imagine the people who found this poor baby, what they were feeling when they discovered it. Her.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the staff at this location is devastated. They put this box in to help moms in their community. And so they get the alarm. They run to the box thinking that they are having a safe haven surrender, a healthy newborn. And then they find this deceased infant and they are literally heartbroken. We have been on the phone with them, counseling them, working with them, because this is a hard situation to kind of come out of. Firefighters and medics, they go into locations and they see this all the time. But a hospital, when a baby is brought to them deceased, it's just heartbreaking. And so it is devastating for all involved.
So I have a question for the chat. So these boxes are to help the babies that are just born. Like, you just had a baby in the house. You rush it to one of these boxes and possibly give the baby a chance to live, right? That's the purpose. They're not made for, if the baby dies, you still take it there and walk off. No charges, no nothing. I'm kind of confused. Is there anybody in chat that can kind of clarify this for me? I'm kind of confused. Like I said, they don't have these here that I know of. So, I don't know.
Involved anytime there's a dead infant, because infants, they're just so vulnerable. They're so, it's devastating.
They can't do anything for themselves. It's horrible.
No. Yeah.
Well, you provide a great service, Monica. I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me. And we're just going to have to see where this investigation goes from here, because the Google searches she performed afterwards, it seems to me that she knew she might be in trouble because she knew the baby had passed away when she had put the baby in the baby box. I appreciate your time, Monica. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
Well, thank you, Anjanette. Okay. I'm about to play this other case. If you are still with me here. This one's about the 19-year-old cheerleader that I was just talking about, to give you some kind of reference on how this is more prominent than not. And it's sad that it's getting this way. I just don't know what can be done about it to change the trend. If anybody has any ideas on it, feel free to type it in the chat. And okay, have y'all heard about this case? Have you heard about this case, chat? Because it's quite interesting. It isn't going to end how you think it's going to end. And if you have It kind of blows your mind. If you've heard about it, I hope that you enjoyed it enough to sit through it again, because I'm going to play it again and then it will be done. It's about 43 minutes long, so hopefully you guys can hang in there till then. But it's sad with women that have eating disorders, they don't develop. They don't develop because the nutrients are not being utilized by the body for the body to grow and become the eventual human that you're meant to become. This case is sad because there's a lot of women like this that they're so caught up in their body image that if they do become pregnant, a lot of them don't want the baby because of the fear of how it's going to mess up their body image. And I've heard of countless about these young girls, they don't know the difference between a regular cramp and they could be in labor. She was just told by the doctor that she was 8 months pregnant. You would think that somewhere in her mind, up until the prom, she would probably be ready to be induced or, give birth, that she would be thinking, oh my God, these cramps are possibly me going into labor, but obviously not. And I don't believe that a lot of these young girls have a clue about any of this stuff. Neither do the guys, to be fair. And I'm not trying to sound sexist. I'm really not. Please take all the other comments that I've mentioned of females and, delivering a child. The little boys don't have a clue either. So I'm being fair there. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it's just tragic. It's just tragic. Typical guy statement right there. You would have heard the dog would have reacted. The dog would have reacted. See, that's a guy statement right there. That's how we look at things. Well, damn, if there would have been something, the damn dog would have reacted. The dog would have woke me up. He would have let me know something was going on. Since the dog didn't react, nothing was. The next day, she's at the gym, and she sends that selfie of her belly being back. Did you just hear that? Did you hear that? The next day, she sends a photo, a selfie. My belly is back, meaning it's flat. Let me show you in case you missed it. Hold on a second. Girls, if you ever read your Miranda rights, at that point, you don't say another word. Don't say anything. Get you a lawyer, and that's all there is to it. Once those Miranda rights are written or read to you, and you're asked to be inside that, now let me ask you and Chad: does that sound like a competent adult to be answering questions about the potential disposal of a baby? I don't believe so. So, I mean, educate your children. Not to be fearful of cops, but always be mindful. What do y'all think about this? Like, the parents don't even really care about her. They're talking about it's going to be in the papers, it's going to be in the news, it's everywhere. The neighbors are already calling up. They're digging up the backyard. Wow. Welcome to suburban America. Did that sound like that to you guys? Did it sound like she admitted to killing her baby right there? Or do you think that she was coerced to say what she did? Do you think that she was falsely confessing? Because these are some of the things that you hear in the true crime community. False confessions, these type of things. Do you think she was coerced to say what she said? Let's continue on.
That word hurt.
Okay, did I get copyrighted already? Is it still going? Or did I get copyrighted? Well, hell. Let me go back to... Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Hello? You can hear me? Okay, I'm gonna go get this video from my library because I already did a story on it. I must have did the court TV one because I didn't get copyrighted before. So just in case they make me delete this, I will have a story for it. Just hold what you got. But y'all can hear me? Okay, cool. Well, let me put some music on while I go find this. Hopefully, I'll put something that's not freaking copyrighted. It is just crazy, man, that I get freaking copyrighted all the damn time. No, I'm gonna play this music. All right, of course I can't find it right off the bat, but we saw enough that I know the rest of it. They can copyright me, but they can't keep the ending away from you guys because I know the ending. Y'all ready to hear it? Y'all ready to hear it? Aquarius, you want to come up? PKC, you want to come up? Come on up and talk to me. Melissa, you want to come up? There's the link. Come on up. Hang out with the 12. One of y'all come on up before I divulge what I'm about to divulge. That way you can give me some reaction. By the way, there's my new background. What do you think about it? I got some other ones. I got some other ones too that I made today. Because you know me by now, I'm spontaneous and I just continue to, I guess, reinvent the wheel. Just make it look a little shinier. Anybody want to come up? Melissa, you want to come up? PKC? Aquarius? Rondi will eventually, I'm sure. We'll get that. Texas, you want to come up? Are you still in here? I can't even ask Heather. I know she ain't going to want to come up. Y'all acting like I'm calling on you like a teacher calling on an answer. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking out into the class. Okay, who wants to come up to the board and answer this question? That's how I feel when I'm asking for people to come up and talk to me up here. I'm just like, oh man, everybody's ducking out. Everybody ducking in the back. I hope he doesn't see me squinting down, like just craziness. All right, I'll wait on Aquarius. No biggie. Let me put my thing right where. I guess I'll put it in the middle. That way me and Aquarius can be like right there. I see that, PKC. I see that. What's for dinner tonight? What did you make the hubby? Do you have anything good? You know what? I'm about to share some guilty pleasure with you guys. Thank you so much, Rondi. I'm about to share some guilty pleasure. I had my nephews buy 2 pecan pies and Cool Whip for Thanksgiving, right? Well, I put the pecan pies in my refrigerator, and as I'm sitting here listening to this cheerleader story, I don't know, I get the munchies, man. So I go in there and I break into one of the pecan pies. I left the Cool Whip alone, but I chiseled out a little piece of that pecan pie, and I was like, man, that is heaven right there. While we're waiting, what is y'all's favorite? I'm gonna call it fall festival food. Oh, that's fine, Militia. You can hide also. Aquarius is here to save the day.
Hello.
Hey, Aquarius, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me up.
How was your day?
Pretty good, actually. How was yours?
It was pretty good. I can't complain. So, how far are you from Carlisle? Are you pretty good ways? Did you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you pretty good
Sorry.
ways from Carlisle?
Yeah, I'm a little ways from there.
Okay.
Couple hours, about 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay. So you heard about this case
I
probably
have
when
heard
it
about the
happened.
case, yes.
Yeah. So did you hear that, she was arrested, right? She was eventually
Yes.
arrested for the death of her baby. The charred remains on the bone. They assumed by the coroner that she had burned her child as well as buried her. So there was a big old lengthy court process that went all through that process. And come to find out later, dun, 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 the coroner made a mistake. That was a burn pile that her dad used, so that was just residue in the soil from the burn pile. So that's how the bones got the charred remains on them.
Yes, this was a really sad case. And as people were even saying in the chat, look at the parents. Look at the parents in this case.
Yeah.
Look at how she was raised. I mean, the first even red flag is the mom, where the girl has an eating disorder and everything, and the mom's, oh, watch what you eat so you can fit into your dress. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I just, the parents made me mad in this whole situation, and it's sad for the baby as well. It is, but you couldn't help but feel. A lot of these cases are so sad when it comes to the teen moms, and they kill their newborn babies and they leave them in the trash cans and the dumps. It's sick. It's horrible. I felt sorry for this girl.
Yes. I mean, that's why I wanted to kind of go with the same theme, you know what I mean? And they all kind of meet the same theme because they're not very old, you know. They're not older women.
You know,
They're,
they're
they're in the
babies.
prime of their lives, you know. Do you agree as what I was saying as far as, you know, some of the stuff that they don't know used to be taught in school?
Absolutely.
You know, just tragic that they don't have the knowledge or the forethought of, you
Well,
know,
like you said with them, with the boxes, the safety boxes for the babies, I agree with what you said as well. It's a way to get rid of your responsibility. And there is a lot of women out there that need it. It's better than, the babies going into the trash cans and everything else. But I do agree with what you said. What kind of world have we come to that that babies are even disposable?
right. I mean, I understand it, and I understand it's a new age, and there's new people are thinking that new solutions for old problems, but not every problem has a cut and dry solution in my eyes. I mean, but who am I? I'm just 12 gauge, you know?
And if you did the crime, you got to do the time. I don't know. It just is what it is. And when I say that, I mean, you laid down and you had that kid, and they don't
I
come with
mean,
manuals. You got to do what you have to do. It sucks.
right. I mean, do you not know that that's a potentiality of you
Right.
having sex? You know, you're going to get pregnant, you're going to catch diseases. I mean, I've heard of young adults not even being aware enough carrying a disease that has created problems where they can't even bear children anymore because they waited too long to get medication for it.
Right.
And it just totally just, messed up their ability to conceive a child later on in life and over not knowing or not realizing, like that lawyer said, kids live in the moment. They don't
Right.
live in tomorrow or the next day or, preparing for the future. They live moment by moment. So sometimes it's not about, well, I need to go get this taken care of. It's, oh, I'll get it taken care of whenever.
Yes. Not realizing that you had a less than a month. It,
Right.
you're living moment by moment and thinking that month is going to last forever, and it's not.
Can you imagine being that Dr. Aquarius and she walks in and you ask her, hey, where's the baby?
Right. Right.
Where's the baby?
You were just 8 months pregnant. It's been 2 months. What happened?
Right. Where's the
Because at
baby?
that point, you have to have a funeral and everything. Yes, you either had a live baby or a funeral at this point.
Yes.
It's just
Yes.
it's sad. And a lot of a, a lot of kids that you just see it so much when you brought up this teenager and the one this there's so many teens and young moms just killing their babies.
Yes.
I just don't understand the world we live in that that happens so much now.
Exactly. I don't get it either. It's almost like everything disposable.
But
I see it every
children,
day.
babies,
Hey, it's sad. It's sad. Look, I had a discussion with my boss. I've been working at the juvenile place for 2 years now, okay, and some change. And the trend that I see, the pattern that I see is the moms are all cool when they're babies, when they're toddlers, when they're barely 5, 6, 7 years old. But something happens when they start walking, talking, and gaining that little bit of independence. Then the mothers and fathers, at times, I'm not saying everyone, but at times they start saying, okay, well, they can do this for themselves. My job is done.
yeah, I've noticed I have two adult children, and I've noticed with mine, and maybe it's just girls, I don't know, I have daughters, they get more needier as they get older. Like,
Yeah,
I don't understand how they just, oh, they're grown and they can live, not grown, but they're self sufficient. They can do this themselves, and you just leave your children be. I don't understand that. Mine won't leave me be, and they're grown.
right, right. I got you. But
There's,
I mean, obviously you were attached to them. They were attached to you. They developed that form of attachment from early on. A lot of
true.
these parents don't have that form of attachment to their own parents, so they can't attach to their children, and the cycle goes on and on. It's a whole thing. It's a whole job, this child development thing. It's a real
That's
thing.
so sad.
Yeah,
It really, really is sad. Like, I'm that type of mom that it doesn't even have to be my child, and I'm going to defend that child no matter what.
right.
You
But I
just
see it
don't
with
mess with
animals
kids.
too. I see it with animals also, Aquarius. They're cute when they're puppies, but they grow up to be big old dogs. Oh my God, let's just go dump them off somewhere.
Oh, see, I'm not, I like animals too. I'm not
Well,
a
I mean,
dog
I see it.
person.
I
They're
see
needy,
it.
but,
You know what I mean? It's like we view life and everything around us as a disposable item
or they use them for
because,
attention. Did you see that
yeah,
one case? I don't mean to bring up a different case, but
it's okay.
there's a mom in Australia who, was giving her daughter Valium, I think it was, for her social media for GoFundMe's. This baby had to have brain surgery and everything until they finally figured out the mom was giving her the medicine that was messing her brain up, and she was doing it all for TikTok.
Oh my God.
It that was crazy. I just seen that recently. I don't know how old it was or anything, but I did just see that recently, and I thought that was just insane. The way it reminded me of what you said is disposable. Yeah, obviously that baby was disposable to her. She used it for clout, for attention, for clicks and views.
Right. I mean,
She was killing her baby.
yeah, I believe that newer is not always better. And I'm sure my parents believe that, and their parents, and their parents, and their parents. But you know what? There's a lot to be said about the old school ways of raising people probably 3 generations ago or 2 generations at least. It all started going wrong, and it's not slowing down at any pace
I
whatsoever.
I agree.
I've just seen like a 10-year old I picked up the other day for some charges that you would you would feel comfortable an adult having, but a 10-year old, a 10-year-old. I
Yeah,
can't give you the charges because I don't want to dox them or anything like that.
absolutely.
Even though I'm not. um. Oh, thank you, Texas. We left Texas hanging. Oh, what ended up happening to the girl is the coroner recanted her statement. Therefore, the girl was found not guilty of killing her baby because she did have um. It was found that the baby was stillborn due to the deficiency of her having an eating disorder and everything, that there was no way that the baby was getting enough food or nutrients or anything to survive the birth. So it was stillborn. They put her on probation, I think, for the messing with the corpse or whatever. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at what Texas just said. I thought I missed it. No, I guess I was waiting for you, bro. But they put her on probation for messing with the corpse, and that was the end of it. I mean, since then, I mean, she went through the whole social media thing of people calling her a baby killer and all that other stuff. Casey Anthony 2.0, all this stuff, it just,
She
people are
probably
just,
needed
yeah.
counseling after that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't
She needed
imagine,
it before that, but
Aquarius, back in my addiction, as, as frazzled as my mind was, if I would have been on social media and people were going off on me like they do sometimes on here, bro, it either would have done one or two things. It would have just short circuited me, or I would have just
same,
been a raging maniac
same,
24/7.
same.
It
I
would have
agree
done
with you on
one.
that.
It would have done one or two because there's no way I had any kind of kill switch. It was all the way
Right,
on and all the way off.
right. No self control, no little filter in between.
Right. I mean, they would have probably came to my house and arrested me for all the threats and all the things I would have been saying. But
Rondi, if
it,
I was that girl, I would. I wish she would leave the house too. I agree with you on that. But sometimes, if you're, I feel like sometimes when you're mentally abused, like she was, I feel like she was mentally abused. You don't know that you're mentally abused, that you're in a bad situation. In my
and
opinion.
also her mother made it a statement that she, due to having the eating disorder, that she didn't progress. So was her daughter a little slower
Right. She said
mentally?
mentally and physically.
Yes. So she's still a 12-year-old, she said.
Yes. Do you think the mom takes any blame for any of that, though? I really feel like from that one text message that the mom had something to do with her eating disorder. I really do.
Yeah.
She kept even saying how, oh, I just thought she was gaining weight. She was gaining weight. And with that look, just, I don't know. I didn't like the mom.
Well, I'm sure the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. It usually doesn't. So did her mom have an eating disorder? Where did she learn that from?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm
Right.
not trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying that, sometimes the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
True.
I mean, we learn our bad habits from somewhere. Man.
Absolutely.
So let's switch gears a little bit. That was the end of that case, Texas. Okay. So the second one that we were talking about was the baby drop. Okay. Do they have those where you live?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can also, as Rondi said too, the fire stations as well. You can take your baby to the fire station. I don't know how old, like you were saying before, something about, freshly newborns or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the baby fit in that box, you could drop them off. I also think if you even had a kid that you wanted to just take to the fire station, you absolutely could. It's usually babies though.
Okay.
Most people don't just take their toddlers or whatever, but they can.
Right. I mean, it's just interesting to me. I didn't really realize, you know, how it all went down. I've never heard of it, and obviously Texas hadn't either. So, it was kind of,
You don't have them
slow.
in Texas?
Not that I've heard of. I mean, I've heard of those sanctioned cities, as what she was saying. So, I guess they have designated areas. Maybe they do because I've seen some convenience stores that have signs that say this is a safe baby drop off zone or something. I don't know, but
Okay.
I've never seen boxes where you drop off a baby.
No, I've
So I
never
don't know.
actually seen one except on video and stuff like that. I know that we can go to the fire stations and stuff around here. There's signs and stuff. Um, I've never actually seen a box. I know we have them.
But that didn't that look weird, that box? It's like it was an overnight deposit or something. You pulled down the thing, you pulled out the
It
deposit slip.
is. It is, but
You put the baby in there and then you lock the door. I mean, crazy.
but they had it in one of those bassinet things. The the box that you put it in, that white plastic clear thing, that's a bassinet when you have a baby in the hospital.
Okay.
So if you put it in there, and like that woman said, they're usually newborn, and they're in towels, and and they set them in there. So, but those are the same bassinets that, like, when you have a baby in the hospital, they're in those white plastic like things.
Oh, okay, okay. I got you. I got you.
And then I would assume, like, there was a sign on there that said, "Do not open this door unless you're in need of our services," meaning because you're
Right.
probably going to set the alarm off and somebody's going to think there's a baby in there.
You go leave a cat or something in there.
Right. Don't leave your cat or nothing in there. I wonder if that's ever happened. Rondi said all 50 states have them.
You go leave a litter of kittens in there and be like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I wonder if that ever has happened.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I
there is
tell
a
you,
lot of
my
animal
mind is
lovers out
warped.
there.
Well, my mind is warped. I don't know, and that would be the next thing. Since they have baby ones, why can't we have animal ones where you just come bring your little animals to this little drop box and you just drop them off here?
We don't we don't have like drop boxes like that. It's hard to get rid of like cats and dogs and stuff where we're from. Like, you got to be on a waiting list or whatever, because there's too many strays and stuff
Yeah,
around, and shelters go around and pick them up and stuff. And
yeah. I mean, they're around here too. They run in packs.
yeah,
They're not even scared of you. They'll just walk up to you and be like, "Hey, what's up? Can I have a
right,
cigarette?"
right. Rondi said they do
Oh,
that there. They have drop boxes and stuff there where she's at.
oh wow.
That's cool for animals because we don't have
Yeah.
that here. We have so many stray animals around that would be awesome.
Sweet little Rondi.
Yeah, she's full of information tonight. She said all 50
Yes,
states
she
have those drop
is.
boxes.
Yes, she is. She's a little encyclopedia. Google.
Did you ever fix your phone, Rondi, to come up?
A couple days ago, my daughter went to work and found a litter of puppies. Aw.
Aw. I'm I'm not a dog person. They're too needy for me. They always want your attention, and I'm a cat person. I love
I
dogs,
am.
don't get me
I
wrong.
am too. I am too. Texas says, let's put this up here. She said they have one here that just started in Palestine. It's not operational yet. Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's good. I mean, I just don't know what message that sends. How many times can you use that box? Like, I mean, there has to be a limit, bro. I mean, at some
Not
point you
really,
gotta.
because there's no questions asked.
But seriously, come on. That just, I don't know.
I
That's
get where you're coming from. That's giving people the excuse to just keep having babies and putting them in a drop box, or
right.
that's just like people using abortion for birth control. I did.
My mind doing this true crime stuff and working in the criminal justice field all these years and all this, my mind just doesn't think normal like normal people's mind do. I was thinking whenever, they're doing this for good, but are they selling these babies parts on the black market?
Oh
You
my
know, is
gosh.
somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or is somebody using these fetuses for something?
You do go straight to the bad, don't you?
I mean, it's terrible, Aquarius. It's terrible. I mean, but that's kept me out of trouble more
I
often than not.
understand. I understand. I usually go straight to the worst too. Worst case scenario.
Yeah,
No, it I don't know. I think it's better than throwing it in the trash can.
yeah.
And we just have to hope they're not selling baby parts on the black market.
It was sad. They figured they were only 4 to 5 weeks old. Luckily, they found a rescue to take them. Oh, good.
Aw, that's good.
Rondi said, I think so. I
That's
mean,
sad,
because,
PKC. I think people dump animals and it's sad.
yeah,
Just
I
like you
can't
do
say I've
children.
never done it. And so, y'all judge me all you want. It went to a better neighborhood. I mean, it went to a better house. I was unable to care for her. And I made sure that she went to a very high end neighborhood and she was rescued within a couple of minutes. I saw it.
That's
You go
awesome.
I sat there and cried, but I was like, go girl, you're gonna have a better life over there than what I could give you at this point.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they were, yeah, Rondi. Stem cell research, fetuses.
I mean, I'm sure there's a black market for a lot of things. So I mean, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I am who I am. I can't change the way I think sometimes.
Absolutely.
And I hold true to my beliefs. And so we're in like a little restaurant right now. You see that, Aquarius?
Yeah, I was going to tell you that I like the background. I like the background.
Yeah.
I
Texas
also,
already have 4. Do what?
I was going to tell you, you told me to try that one time for my show, like the background or like the drones going through the mountains and
Yeah, yeah.
have to be live to do that,
Oh,
to be
okay.
able to share your screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've
So
slowly been figuring stuff out.
how many more people you need?
Um, I, th- I don't know. I think you got to have 50 subscribers.
Well, put your link in the chat every time you get in here.
Oh, maybe I'll have to.
Yeah,
I think we have 20. We're up to 20, but it's fun. We're just having fun with it. It's been fun. We
right.
actually showed ourselves today for me to not be showing
Really?
myself. Yeah, our whole video, we actually showed ourselves today.
Awesome. I'll have to go check that out. I was pretty busy today. I didn't really get a chance to lurk anywhere. I did
Oh, yeah,
start off my
absolutely. It's fine.
I started off my day though. I was watching Crime Sleuthing and some other person named Avery. She was talking about her. They were going at it. I
Oh,
don't know. But then I got a bad phone call. You know those phone calls you get and you hear something on the other end, you're like, oh my God. My mom called me. She fell.
oh no.
She hurt her arm, hurt her leg. Her life alert thing wasn't working. She wasn't thinking clearly because she had fell, and she didn't think to call 911. So I called my brother. He was on his way over there. He called 911. Then I realized, okay, I need to call 911. See, so that's the thing right there. That's a perfect example from that other case, okay? that's not necessarily the first damn thing you're going to think about. You're not going to think about
You,
calling the police. You're going to
you
call someone you love.
I agree with you 100% on that. I've said that before too. I've used my daughters as an example. They would be scared and call me before they would call the police just to ask what to do. My brain ain't working. I'm sorry to hear about your mom.
Well,
Is she okay?
well, she got in the ambulance and my brother got there, and then, her little puppy, since we're talking about dogs, her little puppy was protecting her. He's a little
Aw,
terrier kind of mix, and he was protecting her. She's like, she wouldn't let anybody close to me. My brother
that's
got the
cute.
dog, put him in the kennel, and then she made it to the ER, and she fractured her humerus bone at the top by the rotator cuff, so she's gonna have to have surgery. Her arm's in a sling right now, but everything else is good. You know.
Aw, I'll keep her in my prayers.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
She just sounded so out of it. She usually sounds so lively, and she's like, she said she called my name, and then she's like, I've fallen and I can't get up, and I mean, instant fear just went over me.
Oh yeah.
Just like, oh my God. And I was on another call at my job from another situation going on. So I had two emergencies going on at the same time.
That
I told my
sucks.
mom, I said, I'll get you some help. I said, do not move. I'll call you right back. And I hung up with her and I settled this other emergency. Then I hung up with her. I, I called my brother right away and, got all that going. But I just realized that, Aquarius. I did not call 911 first. I called my brother. She called
Yeah,
me.
see, neither
She
one of
didn't
we
call
called
911.
911.
Right.
That's crazy. Yeah, and that's what people, oh, well, you automatically call. You don't call 911. Like even the girls having these they don't call 911. It's not the first thing you do
No.
apparently.
No, obviously not. I mean, that is an eye opener right there. Because I didn't think about it till just now when I was saying that out loud.
Well,
That's
even in a
thank you,
different
Melissa.
case,
That's so kind.
the
Go ahead.
Sebastian Rogers case, they said that, they were mad at that mom at one point for calling her husband and they three-wayed to 911. And in my mind, I had to be like, if that was me, I have anxiety so bad. I would probably call my husband and he would have to, on the phone with me, call 911 because I freak out. You know what I mean?
Right,
So I didn't think
right.
that was odd that people do that. I never found that 911 odd
I mean, I didn't really think of it to the extreme until just now when we
until
were
you
just
said it out
talking about
loud.
it. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never talked it out loud, so yeah. But I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of the things that were said in any of these cases. That's not, you're not really taught, you're taught to call 911, but you're always going to call somebody for some emotional support to calm you
Yes.
down, I think.
Yes.
Like you said, your kids call you, right? Your
They
daughters
would
call
call me.
you?
Yes, they would call me. What do we do? I'm freaking out. I need to do this. Even my daughter, my granddaughter's allergic to eggs, and she, we didn't know that when she was little, and
Right.
she called me instead of calling 911 when the baby was, her lips were turning blue. She was starting to, and it's, we got to call 911. Hang up with me, call 911. And then I called my other daughter who was there as well. But yeah, she called me, not 911.
And get this,
That's
once I beat the ambulance to the damn hospital.
right.
And, I'm there and I'm like, hey, is so and so here? No, she's not checked in yet. And then they tell me she refused. I called my brother. I'm like, I thought you said she was in the ambulance when you left. He said, yeah, she was. I said, well, they said she's not here. He's like, well, I came back to work. I said, okay, I'll give it a couple more minutes. So I gave it a couple more minutes. It was like 10, 15 minutes, right? Your mind is racing. The clock is going a million miles an hour. So I told the lady, I said, I'm going to go check at her house. I call another hospital nearby, nothing. I get to her house, the door is locked. Her phone's not answering. I'm like, what the fuck? Where'd my mom go? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, I'm like, I'm driving back to the hospital. I call the emergency room again. She's like, oh, yeah, she just pulled up. I was like, good God, that was almost an hour, it seemed like, but probably it was only about 20 minutes or so. But she only lived like 3 miles from the hospital. So I don't know if there's a quota that they have to like be out so much before they can charge. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like, did you know that if you go to the ER, the reason that unless it's a life threatening emergency, the reason they make you sit in that waiting room is they got to wait at least 35 minutes or so to bill you. Like, they can't bill you if you're admitted to go to the back any earlier than 35 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Melissa, yeah, exactly. She called your mom and not 911. Yeah, because you call the person you trust.
Yeah. But yeah, if there's some trivial knowledge there. The reason
Yeah, I
that you
didn't
wait in
know
the
that. My
ER
mom
so
always tells
long,
me the doctors are all money rackets.
I mean that's what happens is you gotta wait a percentage of the time in order to be admitted so they can start billing you.
That is
Like the
useful
moment unless
knowledge.
it's life threatening, like if you got a gunshot wound or something like that, heart
Right.
attack, then they can start billing automatically. But anything else, they gotta wait, you know. Hell,
Huh.
I think I waited at an ER one time. My back locked up or something, or it was my hip or my knee. I hyperextended my knee, and I waited on my legs for about 8 hours. That ER was packed. I
Wow.
was I was so mad. I was in so much pain, and then to get in there and they act like you're drug seeking, I was pissed. I was like,
Yeah,
"Do you
that's
know
what
what?
they do.
Do you want to know what I do for a living? This is the last freaking place I'd be if I was drug seeking."
Right.
I could get it quicker on the street than you're willing to dispense it.
Right.
There was 4 people out front that asked me if I needed anything.
Right. I'm sitting here for 4 hours.
Right, right.
Wow,
I mean,
you've had a day.
oh yeah, yeah. But that used to be my typical day. It's not like that anymore, thank God. But it used to be my days were full of chaos, and I don't know if it was because I created it or because I was just racing so fast in my head that everything just was blown out of proportion.
Right.
You're just like, right. You're right.
My daughter's walking in. I'm gonna go ahead and hop down, okay, 12 gauge. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much for
No
coming up here.
problem. Thanks for having me
I'm
up.
about to get off here. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks.
Bye bye. All right. All right. Thank you, Aquarius. Texas, you just had surgery. You said they do that these days. I had to have surgery earlier this year in the ER. It's a joke. Yes, it is. You're fine, Aquarius. You're fine. Thank you for being up here. It's awesome that you came up here. I will find that video and the next time I will show it because um I know I did that video already. I don't I don't think the same thing happened though. I think I was able to get through the whole thing. But since I described it, I guess it's not that big of a deal. Or you guys can go and Google or go to YouTube and go to 19-year-old cheerleader who murder trial and it'll come up so you can watch the video on your own. I think I played the wrong one. I think that one copyrighted me originally. The Court TV doesn't copyright you. So I don't know if it was playing music in the background or something like that. I don't know. So had me in bed. Damn, Texas. That's no bueno, bro. No good at all. No good at all. You know, as I was looking through my videos, I did notice one thing that there's a lot of Idaho 4 stuff in there. A lot. For anybody who cannot find any information on Idaho 4, just look through the lives and look through the video section, and there is plenty in there, I promise you. And they're hours and hours long. So, and there's also videos of other things. So, y'all be sure to check out the page and show me some love. Give me some good comments, or subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Um, you know, I guess unconsciously I'm trying to change the culture of the true crime. I know I can't do it by myself, but I do want eventually, and this might be a foolish dream, but hopefully one day the true crime community will all be able to get along and we'll be able to have good chats, and it won't be all about cutthroat stuff, We'll be able to discuss things that baffle us, and we'll all be able to get along even though we have opinions. I wish YouTube could give you a like voice button where you could record your voice instead of typing it out, because typing out in chat, you can't always read somebody's emotions. Sometimes people type out so bluntly, it sounds like they're being rude as hell. So maybe that'll be a suggestion in the near future. Yeah, at least we can't do that here. But I ask you before I leave, can you dig it? Can you dig it? If you can't dig it, you might need yourself a bigger shovel. Your boy's out of here. Have a great night. One more thing while I'm at it. Y'all tell your people to come check out the 12 Gauge Investigative. Just because I sound assertive and I sound like an ass sometimes, it's not aimed at the chat. It's not aimed at the subscribers. It's usually aimed at people that push it too far. They know who they are. I got to call it out. That's just me. Y'all have a wonderful night.